Hey everyone, welcome back to Pine Hollow Auto Diagnostics. Today we're at a local shop working on this 2005 Ford F250 Super Duty 6-liter diesel. Customer complaint is, that's the customer complaint, it's not charging. It's on its 4th or 5th alternator. They tried remands. This is a brand new one from Napa. Not charging. So got the Tornado 90,000 hooked up. Just set it at 12.5 volts so the batteries don't go dead. And first thing I want to do is just scan it for codes, and we already ran into a problem where no power at the DLC. So let's start there, at least get a health report, and then see why this thing's not charging. Alright, so let's check for powers and grounds at the DLC. So I have a power and ground source coming from the battery, so my test light works, connected to the battery ground. Checking pin 16, we got no power. So let's see which fuse feeds pin 16 and get that figured out first before going after this charging system. Wiring diagram pulled up here. Data link connector, pin 16. Comes from fuse 2.12, so fuse 1220 amp in the central junction box. Let's try to find that and see if that fuse is blown. Alright, it's nice of Ford to actually put the fuse box in a nice accessible location. Here's the cover, and fuse 12 is, let's see, that goes like that. It's the second or third one down from the top, fuse 10, 11, 12. Let's get a test light, still connected to ground, and just go through these. So I think that's fuse 11, fuse 10 is empty, and fuse 12, we'll check it out, it's only hot on one side, so that's blown for some reason. Let's install a 5 amp test light in here and see if there are any short circuits. If you can look at the wiring diagram, it also splits off to horn, cigar, lighter, and the horn works, but the cigar lighter, if I put my adapter in here, the LED does not light up. So let's replace that fuse, check for a short to ground, and get a scanner on this thing. Alright, so 5 amp test light installed instead of the 20 amp fuse. Look, our little LED came on there. I assume the DLC, yep, that came back to life. So let's, while it's happy, let's log in with a scanner and do a health report. Alright, let's turn the key on. And first thing I noticed was there's no battery warning light. That should come on as a bulb check. It does not, and if you look close with a light, it lives in this lower left-hand corner, down and to the left from the seatbelt indicator. So that's a clue. But let's see if we can log in to Ford and do a health report. Alright, so now we got in here, did a full health report. You can see we have 4 codes in the generic electronic module, GEM, 3 codes in the instrument cluster, 7 codes in the PCM. Let's take a look at those. Instrument cluster says ignition key air, battery voltage low, fuel meter sender open shorted circuit, brake on off switch, ignition run accessory circuit fault. So all these codes. So let's clear all these out. Okay, now we can unhook the battery charger, start it up, run it, make sure it's not charging, and then research the alternator. Alright, so charging system, we got 2 batteries, and here's the alternator. So there's the big positive post right there. And then we have a fusible link E, 20 gauge gray going to orange and light blue. That feeds the internal voltage regulator. And then from the instrument cluster, light green and red wire, that's the warning light. That does not come on. So let's go with the alternator, check these connections. do some voltage measurements, see if there's anything wrong there. Alright, so I got the alternator control pin plug unplugged. There's two wires going to that, and then there's the fat cable right here. So let's take a 5 amp test light from battery ground. If it finds the power, it's going to light up nice and bright. So I want to check the orange and light blue wire. That should be hot at all times. Let's see here. Orange and light blue. Yes. Nice, bright test lights there. Let's check the positive terminal since we're here. Yes, nice bright test lights there. And now let me just ground the instrument cluster wire, the green with the red. And when we put the key on, that battery light should come on. Let's try it out. It does not. Okay, so my question is now, does the alternator need a high voltage on that wire to wake up? Service info is not clear on that. I did read the description in operation. So let's get a probe on that wire and a meter, plug everything in, and with the key on, we'll see if there's a voltage on there. If there isn't, we can provide a voltage with a test light and see if the alternator wakes up. That's the next step. Alright, got a piercing probe on the green and red wire. Voltmeter hooked up. Right now we're seeing 0 volts, but you can see it's floating around. Okay, now if we turn the key on, will that voltage go up? So no battery light, no voltage. It looks like we have an open circuit from the cluster to that wire. So now I'm going to plug it in. We'll start up the truck. I assume it won't be charging, and we'll just provide a voltage with a test light from battery positive. See if this thing wakes up. Alright, so here's the test setup. Pretty simple. So I have this meter right here, just hooked to the alternator positive post. I want to see if the alternator is dead or alive. We'll see 12.6 minimum because the battery charger is still on. Second meter is on that control wire coming from the cluster. Right now it's at 0 volts. Test light from battery positive, if it finds a ground, it's going to light up. So if I touch the positive lead here going to that control wire, see the test light lights up kind of dimly. We're at 3.2 volts. So let's fire up the truck, see if it's, if the alternator is not awake. Then we'll just do this and we'll see if it wakes up. Alright, here we go. Key on. Wait for the glow plugs. Fire it up. Try to wake up the alternator. Look at that. It woke up. Voltage is going up. And if I shut this thing off, the alternator has no help now. The alternator should be charging those batteries at a pretty high amperage. Let's see. If the batteries are accepting a current. Now there's 2 batteries, keep that in mind. So we can put it around here. 50 amps. We're getting there, climbing up. You can see the test light's not lighting anymore because the alternator turned out that wire. So this proves that the alternator is good. We're missing that control signal from the cluster. Alright, so now we want to find the open circuit between the instrument cluster and the alternator. So we have a whole bunch of intermediate connectors. Starts right here. We have C146 pin 21, C1148 pin 1 to pin 2 on the same connector. That's interesting. C1298 pin 6 finally goes to the alternator. So I found C146 pin 21. Here's the connector and the actual location. It's kind of in the master cylinder area. C146 is right there. So using pin or wiring color kind of sequencing, I have a probe on there, and voltmeter is steady at 2 millivolts. So when I turn the key on, let's see if that voltage goes up. And then if we pull that down with a test light, the battery light should come on. So I'm testing wiring integrity from the cluster to that intermediate connector. Yes, we have 11.8 volts, and I'm sure if I go from battery, we just do it right here at the meter, battery negative. Let me set that up. Okay, so I have a test light connected in between the 2 pins. We're down to 4 volts on the meter. Test light is super dim, and the battery light, I'm sure, is also going to be dim. So we just checked wiring integrity from the cluster to that intermediate connector. So we have a broken wire somewhere from that connector to the alternator. It might not be easy to find it, but we have to. Let's keep moving down the line here. So at C146 pin 21, we're good. Continuity is fine. I could not find C1148. I think that's for the dual generator system, even though it says it's just a jumper wire. C1298 pin 6. That is right here, kind of close to the engine computer. 1298, it's an 8-pin connector. And here's the pinouts. There's our light green and red wire, pin 6. Let's get on that and do the same exact measurement. Alright, so I took this battery out. That one is still connected. Be careful, don't touch the positive wire here. This is live. So there's the light green and red wire. And that's going through the connector to the engine, to the alternator. So that's the last intermediate connector in the line. And right now the voltage is 0.6 millivolts. I'm going to put my test light on here to ground that out. I'm going to turn the key on and see if we're good through that connector. No light. .66 millivolts. Okay, fantastic. So what can we do? Can we check the continuity from here to the alternator? Let's do that. We already have a back probe on there. We can do that with a test light, make sure you can pass some current. So the problem is going to be between here and here. So we're super close. Alright, so here's the test light continuity check. You want to load the wire even if everything else is disconnected. You want to put a high amp test light on the input and measure the output with a lower amp test light. So I have a 1 amp test light connected to here from battery positive. You can see it's slightly dim. That's because it's plugged into the alternator and the regulator is drawing a little bit of current. We can eliminate that variable by plugging in a 4 amp or 5 amp test light. You see now it's not lit, and we have 11.5 volts on C1298. And moment of truth, is that going to light my little test light? It sure does. So I'll leave that here and I'll disconnect my big one and you'll see what happens. Boom. So we just proved from the alternator to here we're perfect. From the cluster to here we're good. Now we're just down to, if I connect here to here with a jumper, this truck is fixed. But we want to fix it the right way. Let's see if we can find a broken wire. So as you can see, the wires coming out of C1298 going towards the firewall kind of curve around, and right here the harness is rubbing on this metal bracket. Is that going to be our issue, let me lift that up and use a mirror to see if there's any rub through wires right there where that rusty bracket is. So connector C1148 is nowhere to be found, and without that, well, we just need to connect this wire to this wire. So I talked to the shop and they said do whatever it takes. This will make it more reliable so we don't have this loop going to nowhere, because it's a single generator system instead of a dual system. So proof of concept, I just connected these two with my lead, and if the battery light comes on, then we're in business. We just have to make a jumper for that wire. There it is, there's the battery light. I disconnect my jumper. No more battery light. So let's make a splice and run it, make sure the alternator is charging, and ship it. Alright, so there's a shot of the beautiful bypass wire from there to there. Everything's connected. Turn on the key. Battery light's on. Let's fire it up and see if the alternator works. So I'm doing one more code scan here. 13.5 volts, that's fine. 13.6. Putting out 70 amps still. And these diesels really need a lot of current to run good. Just going here into PCM. Just look at battery voltage and rev it up, make sure that it's happy. Alright, so battery voltage, RPM, I'm going to rev it up a little bit. Looks like it's regulated at 13.5. Should be just fine. Perfect. Alright, we're done. So, a little mysterious where that connector lives. The one where the broken wire was going to this dual generator, which isn't equipped. But easy solution. Now it's better than factory. You know, less wiring, just direct bypass from the cluster to the alternator right there near the fuse box area. This truck should be good to go. So thanks a lot for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.